So guys, in this video we are taking a look at this Metasploit modules. First I will open this file manager and I will explain in this file manager because it will be very clear for you. Go to this file system and the user and share and Metasploit. So this Metasploit framework contains some app folder, configuration folder, and data and database folders. We don't care about those folders. All we care about this is modules for now. And you can see there are different modules over there: auxiliary, encoders, evasion, exploits, knobs, payloads, and post. When I learned this Metasploit, I did not see encoders as a special module, and also I don't think there is a post module separately. They are already included in these exploits, but they have made separately. Okay, let's learn. However, first one is auxiliary modules. These auxiliary modules contains other than exploits. So like these auxiliary modules contain scanners, fuzzers, and all enumeration scripts other than that perform only basic scanning and enumeration. As you can see, if you go into the auxiliary folder, and you can see these are categorized by the into different ways. You can see fuzzers, and according to various protocol fuzzers, and you can choose any fuzzer you want. And you can see the parsers, and there is only one parser. And you can see the scanners. There are so many scanners over there which are used for particular protocol as well. And you can see there are sniffers and spoofers, and based on the SQL injection, whether these will check for SQL injection is there or not. And you can see it is also used for voice over internet protocols, enumeration, and spoofing. So these are pretty much it. These auxiliary modules contains all the scanners, fuzzers, and enumeration scripts. So you can see the second one is encoders. So what this encoders does is they will encode the payload. Actually, we have talked this vulnerability payloads before, and then these encoders will try to encode this payload such that the antivirus cannot detect it. That's why we use this encoders, because normal payloads can be detected easily by the antivirus softwares. That's why we use the encoders. By the way, these encoders can also be identified by the antivirus, because these are already there in the Metasploit. So normally anyone who writes antivirus can code all these encoders, and then according to the pattern of this encoding they can just specify that it is virus or not. But we can also mix these encodings. You can, if you go to the x86 encoding, you can see there are addition and subtraction encodings and alpha mixer. This is used for Unicode shellcode, to encoding the Unicode shellcode. So don't worry about all this shellcode. We will come to these shellcodes in the exploit development. You can see there are so many encoders for these payloads. You can see non-alpha encoder, and you can see the Shikata Ganai encoder. This is widely used because it has some excellent rating, and it also avoids detection by the many antiviruses. And it is also a stable encoder. And you can see Unicode mix and Unicode upper and XOR encoders. So these are various encoders you can use to encode these payloads. Don't worry about these payloads. We will be creating the payloads in the future videos. And the third one is evasion. We have only Windows, because most of the antiviruses are run in the Windows systems, and we can use these scripts to create a payload that will almost evade the Windows Defender as well, along with the antivirus softwares. And you can see the actual main part, that is exploits. So these exploits are categorized into the way they go into the platform, like BSD platforms and Firefox browsers and FreeBSD and Linux exploits. And you can see multi-handlers and multiple. These exploits will work on the multiple platforms. Like we will use this multi-handler in the future videos, and I will explain that later. And you can see the Windows Unix exploits and Windows exploits. You can see there are so many subcategories in the main category. In Windows we have so many according to the protocol and the software versions. These are divided, and you can also see some example uh, exploits. As you can see, all these exploits are ending with the .rb extension. That means this whole framework is written in Ruby language, Ruby programming language. So Metasploit has been written in the Ruby programming language. So that one thing you need to remember. And you cannot use the Python scripts in the Metasploit, and I will tell you how to import your Python script into our Python exploit into this Metasploit later in the exploit development part. Generally we create some Ruby template, and then we will convert that Python into the Ruby. So next one is the knobs. These are called no operations. Generally this is used in exploit development. Whenever you create the shellcode or the payload, then you will add some knobs at the starting to make sure that your exploit works freely. Otherwise there will be null characters and your shellcode can break. So as you can see, there are a bunch of knobs. You can just specify -n option in the MSF Venom for the knobs. No need to worry about these knobs. And the second one, and the next one is the payloads. You can see there are 3 types of payloads over there. And if you can see, this payload contains like bind TCP and reverse TCP. We have already seen with the netcat. We got the shell from the victim, another terminal. In the same way, we can get the shell from the victim's computer using these payloads. And you can see single payloads. There are so many types. These single payloads are like a single shot. Like means you need to transfer completely payload into this victim machine, and then it will execute itself. These singles are large in size because it or the exploit or the payload will be in a single file. What these stages and stages this is, first stages will try to get into the victim machine, and then these stages will try to try to get the content of the stages. You can see stages. If you go to Windows, you can see there are some bind TCP and reverse TCP. These are the actual payloads, stagers, and these stagers payloads can be acquired by the stages whenever these are going to this victim machine. First we will send these stages into this victim machine, and these stages will try to get these stages from our machine and then execute this. So the main advantage of these stages and the stages is there are less in size. First you will send the stages, and that is like lesser part, and then you can just acquire the stages from our machine. So in that way we can send these singles or the stages and stages according to your wish. That's all up to you. But I prefer these stages and stages because these singles are very large in size, and if it fails you need to resend it again. So that's why we can just choose these stages and stages. So that's all about these payloads. And this post contains this post exploitation modules. Suppose if you have compromised the system, you get the reversal. Then after reversal, what you can do with these, and what you can do on that victim machine is you can use these post exploitation modules for enumerates much further, and you can get the privilege escalation as well. As you can see, let's go into the Windows. You can see escalate. These escalate modules try to get some root privileges on that victim machine, and these record will try to discover some more information from the victim machine. So these are the post exploitation modules. You can execute only after you compromise the victim machine. You cannot use when the starting of this Metasploit or any other part other than this after compromising the victim machine. So that's all about these Metasploit modules. We will be mainly working on these all these modules. So we have discovered the auxiliary scanners, fuzzers, and other enumeration scripts, encoders to encode these payloads or the shellcode, and evasion is used to bypass the antivirus softwares, and exploits, the actual exploits we can run against the systems to get reverse shell, and the knobs are used to bypass these null characters or bad characters, and payloads are the actual content we send it to the victim computer to run them. On running we get the shell or any other useful content, and the post contains this post exploitation modules what you can do further after getting the initial or the normal shell from the victim machine.